Hello, hello. We are live now. So it's very nice for me to welcome today's guests, which is Margie Haenseler and Kasia Warszyńska. Probably some of us know these two figures on the market because these are competitors on the market. And as far as Margie is concerned, definitely she is a corporate EFL trainer and content writer with a lot of business experience in sales and marketing. And as far as Kasia is concerned, she is a business English trainer with 13 years of experience. And as you definitely know, she organizes courses for teachers. And I think that Kasia was the first to organize courses for teachers, right?
Well, for now, the first and only language school for teachers in Poland. Yes. For now, because I assume that might not be the case in the future. But as of now, I can say the first and the only school.
Oh, okay, which is a great achievement, I think. So it's very nice for me to welcome you here and very nice for accepting the invitation. And I would love you to share some ideas in the area of business because we are going to talk about love and respect for business English teachers and how to improve your value on the market, right?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes.
And this love is a kind of has a double meaning because we also want to share ideas on how to use the concept of love. Well, Valentine's Day is coming in a corporate setting because nobody ever thinks of business English and Valentine's Day together. It's usually a class for kids or general English. And what we want to show,
or maybe office romance.
what we want to show is that it's not the case, and you can have a nice Valentine's Day theme in a business setting. Yeah.
Which is true. I think every opportunity is good to connect it with business, and it's possible to do it. And of course, we are going to talk about it. Okay, so maybe let's proceed to some questions we've had here. And let's start with the first one, because definitely if you want to raise your value as an English teacher, it would be good to know the benefits of teaching business clients. So what are they?
Well, if you're a teacher and you're not teaching business clients, then you are missing a good avenue of money. Why is that? Because business clients pay more, generally speaking. They like to feel that their lesson is more qualified. They've got a lot at stake. They must improve their English, and they want to make sure that you, as the teacher, that you are meeting their needs. So the first big benefit is, as an English teacher, you are going to be able to charge more for your business lesson.
And I think for a number of teachers, it would be a good deal to charge more for lessons, especially that we often underestimate our value on the market.
Right. And it's kind of a shame that if you teach children, you're probably going to make less money than if you teach an executive. And I'm really sorry it has to be that way because education should be treated the same, especially when you're forming children. But it's not. It's not. I'm sorry. The world we live in today, they will pay you considerably more if you teach an executive. And because it's a little bit different, teaching a business English class, there's a few nuances and strategies and techniques that you kind of have to know. But I would say that. Yeah. Kasia, what else am I missing the benefits of teaching business?
Well, I'm not going to say prestige because I myself respect teachers who teach children. I really do, because I tried it and I didn't like it, and I could never do it. But I think business teaching in companies or teaching corporate clients in general, whether they are individuals or groups, they look at this kind of teacher differently. So you're not a teacher, you're a trainer or a coach. So So even your job title is different, or in theory could be different, because normally when people think teacher, they think primary school, junior high, public schools. They don't think corporate clients. And when you say I'm a business English language trainer, or I'm a business English coach, which for some people might sound a bit odd and weird and kind of over the top, but for others, it's like it's the key. It's the word that they want to hear. It's the door that opens everything, right? So when we decide to turn to business English, many of us are confused and we don't know what to start with. And I would say teaching business English is not, in fact, that difficult, but you need to know some techniques, and you need to know like what people do in companies. What are their jobs?
So what to start with? Because definitely this is a question that everybody is asking themselves right now.
What to start with?
So how to start? So if you have any kind of business experience, whether that was that you worked at, how do I say, Biedronka when you were young, or any kind of experience that you have had in the business world, maybe you worked as a receptionist or administrative assistant, which is a secretary, but we don't use that term anymore. Anything at all, you can draw parallels to that. So the first thing, Sabina, that you need some kind of a presentation for yourself. You need to present yourself. So you have to refer to either experience that you have had, or something that you've done. Was it education? Did you spend 4 weeks in London that you could say was kind of a business exchange? Something that kind of qualifies you.
Or even as a teacher, if you've organized some kind of event that took time and effort, you had to contact outside parties, you had to make phone calls, you had to rent a room somewhere, or you generally just you wrote the program for something, and then this thing happened and it was a success. It is something to talk about. It is something to boast. So even events like English Day at school, many of us teachers have had to organize it at some point in our lives, or maybe organize it every year. This is something that you could definitely kind of describe, maybe add a few elements. But this is definitely a selling point because it is something big. It's not easy to organize.
And it's similar
for students.
And it's similar to the position of a project manager.
Sure. Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah. The second thing you need is an understanding of vocabulary. You need to have certain vocabulary. You need to know what they are, some basic things like best practice, Q1, streamlining. You need to have a certain basis of vocabulary. Third, you need to case studies. That's the big players right now. Who are we talking about? And you need to have that, whether it's Apple, whether it's Netflix, in every industry, there's a leader there, and you need to know something about that. Yeah.
At least a little bit about every industry, or at least a little bit about every major player, so we can say, oh yeah, I've read about this.
Because
I remember referring to vocabulary. I remember when I started reading about business and learning some business vocabulary, and there was glass ceiling. And for me, it was something I couldn't understand at the beginning, but only after I read something like that, I understood. Okay. I could never hear about that idea before, because like glass ceiling for a teacher is something that is never talked about, definitely, but it exists because we have some certain salaries paid, and we just can't skip
we kind of accept it. Yeah.
And we have to accept that. And generally, I realized that working for regular school, for state school, you can never make enough money to satisfy all your needs, and You need to go somewhere to earn better money, even for the same skills you have at school, because I think that a lot of teachers have very good skills at school, which can be translated into the business, onto the business market, and they sell much better there.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's just many teachers do not know how to describe and how to transfer these skills and how to talk about them in a business setting, because they just say, I'm just a teacher, I don't know anything. But I was
That's
thinking,
true.
because you asked like how can we learn business English? So I would say there are 3 ways to do that. One is self-study. And we will be sharing in a moment some pages, some links that we like and what Margie recommends. Self-study also means working with a course book, and maybe potentially starting to teach someone, but looking at the vocabulary in more detail, reading on the vocabulary that you teach in a course book. So it is preparing for a class, but in much more detail. And then the third option, would be not that finger. The third option would be joining a course where somebody tells you or helps you, gives you guidance and instructs you what to do, what not to do, where you can learn from somebody else's experience, or where you are given some vocabulary, for example, and told this is something that works, this is something that you should learn. And that may be longer or shorter, maybe a little bit more expensive, but it is definitely an option for self-improvement, right?
But definitely you need some concepts. And I think that it's good to go on a course. And I think that business vocabulary is never well covered during your studies at the university. So we need to look for some other options.
And reading guidebooks as well, like even
for me, YouTube,
like reading these books that are for dummies,
which
are usually written in very simple language, but they're also very funny. So like Negotiations for Dummies, that I read a book when I was studying to become a business English teacher. I actually read parts of that book, Negotiations for Dummies. And I liked it because it gave me the content, it gave me the words, the terms, but it also was a pleasant read because, usually English books are written in a nicer way than Polish professional books.
I would definitely agree.
Reading books like that are the for Dummies series are a good way to self-improve. Yeah.
And for example, I followed a lot of different channels on YouTube, and definitely I went to a number of webinars organized by the American and British and Australian marketers, and that's why thanks to that, I learned a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
And the most important so we've mentioned all of these different things that kind of substantiate or make business English stand out or make it different. But the biggest thing that a business teacher has to be able to do is to know the roles and responsibilities and the duties of different departments. She or he has to have an idea before going in, because you have to do a really targeted needs analysis. And the needs analysis is you have to carry that through every single class, because they're in there not to just talk about some popular current events. They're in there because they have a specific need. Maybe their boss wants to send them to give a presentation. Maybe they don't like their job and they want to find a new job. Maybe they're a manager, they're going into a manager position and they have to know how to negotiate or how to deal with critical employee problems. So they have a need, and a lot of people are depending on them. So you as a teacher, I as a teacher, we have to meet that need. And that's really, really the biggest difference, I think. And you have to learn to do that.
Oh, definitely. I agree that the need is and if you have the solution to someone's problem or some solution to someone's need, you are definitely going to land the client and meet the need.
And
Right,
very often
exactly.
business clients, they don't want like a whole semester of classes or like a full year of classes. Very often they're more interested in like a bundle, like 10 classes, 20 classes. They have a specific need. They come to you with this need. They say, I want to practice presentation skills. And then you have 10, 20, 30 lessons, depending on the person, 5 sometimes, where you get to teach them exactly what they want. So sometimes they come in and say, I just want to improve my skills. And then you have to conduct the needs analysis to find out exactly what they do at work, how they use English at work, and then base the program, base the course, base these 10 hours that you have with that person. Prepare a program for that person for the 10 hours that they have. And after these 10, 15 hours, they're gone, and you can get more clients. You get experience with this particular client when you have these 10 or 15 hours, then you get another one. So it is a little bit different than general English groups that you start in October and finish in May. And you just follow a course book. It is a little bit more complicated to prepare a course to do that needs analysis properly. But once you do it, once you start collecting materials, once you start creating your own lessons and then reusing them, because it is about recycling as well, then you're good, and you can actually do it. Yeah, you can actually do it.
And I also think that there are a lot of people who want to learn business English at the beginning need some general English first, because it all depends on the level. And
Sure.
I met a lot of clients who told me they needed business English, but unfortunately their general English was not at the right level yet at the time. So I think that this is also some kind of issue here.
Exactly.
Sometimes
Yeah.
you have to, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, girls. So now I would like to ask you where to find some leading expert resources.
One of my favorite is Stanford Business Insights, Stanford University, a very famous university in California, and their Graduate School of Business. If you do a search that's Stanford Business Insights, I don't know if we can show that.
I
have some of
in a minute.
We have some of the leading billionaires in the world have graduated from there. Whether it's I've got the CEO of GM, Charles Schwab. He's one of the biggest investment gurus.
Sabina, am I sharing my screen now? Sorry to interrupt.
No, you are not sharing. I can add it. Now you are sharing.
Okay,
Thank you.
it is. Stanford Business. Yeah. A lot of their graduates from Stanford Business, like I said, are some very famous billionaires. The founder of Nike also graduated from there. So this is where you can go. It's because it's from a grad school. Guess what, folks? There's no advertisement. So just get on there and choose an article. There's no subscription. You don't have to pay for it. And it's leading business articles from every single topic of
and the
business.
articles are quite short, I think, which is quite important, right?
Which is good. Yeah, which is good. So that's the main one, because it's from a university. Like I said, you don't have to pay, and that subscription you have to pay. Like if you want to get an article from The Economist or Financial Times, Harvard Business, or Bloomberg, you have to pay. You get like 5 articles you can look at for free, and after that they'll zap you and they won't let you look at anything. Granted, it's not much, but still, if you're like me, I don't want to have to pay for it.
And so the link, I've already shared the link.
Okay, so thanks for that. There's another one, businessinsider.com, except I'll warn you, it has a lot of adverts, advertisements, but you can sometimes find something on businessinsider.com. And
I'm going to share it too.
Yeah.
I think I'm still sharing. Am I?
Right. Yeah, we're seeing. Very good. Thank you very much. Oh yeah, everybody's laying off now. This is the term. This is the topic. Everybody's laying off, whether it's Netflix or we go into IT, Google, Meta. They're all laying off workers. So Yeah, that's the topic right now. It will probably be affecting a lot of people across the board in different industries. So that's the other one.
And I think the magic of this page and the other one is that you can find articles, business articles, but from different areas. And you can read the articles even for self-improvement, just to find out something interesting, learn a few words in the process. And if you like a specific article, or if you think that a specific article is going to be good to be discussed in class, you can bring it to class and then use it. So you first read it for pleasure. And then if you think, oh, this is quite interesting, this is going to interest my manager or my CEO, then you can send it to them. And they can read it at home, because they're really usually not long. Which Margie would you say is more difficult language-wise? Insider?
Probably this. No, Stanford is they're short nuggets. Yeah. Stanford, I think, would be easier. It's more user friendly than businessinsider.com.
Yeah, and businessinsider.com also has the stock market results and everything. So it is much more serious, much more serious. And as Margie, as you said, of course, commercials.
With those stupid adverts. So if you don't want the adverts, just go to Stanford. And the third one is.
Yeah. This is interesting. I haven't heard of this one before, actually. Tell us
about
this
is
one.
Fantastic. Thank you, Sabina. This is 1440 is the year that the printing press was designed. The printing press that brought finally the news to the masses. And this is a 1440 daily digest. It's unbiased news. It's a news feed that will come to your email, come to your inbox every single day. And guess what? The articles and the subjects are all chosen by hand. There's no algorithms, and most other places there's algorithms, and they're just giving you all kinds of content. In 1440, it's all by hand, and it's unbiased news, and also a lot of current events and human interest stories. And I use it a lot, especially now. There's a lot about AI, artificial intelligence. And I pretty much every day I pick out something from the news feed that comes to my inbox that I can use.
Because that's the thing, right? The articles come to your email. You won't read them online. You have to leave your email on the web page, and then you're going to get the articles, right? That's the
exactly idea. Yeah. You get what you do is you just get one email every day, and it'll just have the topics, and you just click on whatever you want. It'll be whether it's something that happened with gold prices or AI, a lot of places, Getty images, you've a lot of the wonderful pictures and photos that you have seen come from Getty. They're now suing a artificial intelligent, an AI provider, because the AI algorithms copied Getty. Anyway, and just all sorts of things. It doesn't matter whatever your interest is, you'll find something there.
And I also got one more link from you, and it was from Forbes, of course.
Exactly. We have Forbes. Now, Forbes is also, as far as I know, you have to pay as well. So, yeah, you can get a couple things for free, but Forbes is also one. Mm-hmm.
Right. But I think that the ones that require a subscription, from the ones that require a subscription, maybe let's make it this way. Which one do you think would be worth spending your money on? Because it's not much, but still you have to pay. So if a teacher doesn't know much about business English yet, were to choose one of these subscription pages, which one would you recommend? Because in our handout that we're going to share with you guys after this session, we wrote The Economist, Financial Times, Harvard Business Review, Fortune.com, Bloomberg, and then Forbes.com. So which one would you say is the best in your opinion?
It depends on which direction you want to go. I like no hype. I love to talk about the economy. So for that reason, The Economist, I kind of like. Some people like Financial Times. Harvard Business Review has a good cross section as well. So Bloomberg is all finance. So if you want to specialize a little bit more in the finance field, then I would suggest Bloomberg. So I would say, you can go onto the sites and look at them. Like I said, you can only choose 5. You can choose 5 articles, and after that, they'll say, nope, you can't look at anything else. So I would say just look at it and see what appeals to you.
And definitely, I think it would be also good to check which area of business area you are most interested in. Because, for example, not everybody wants to get specialized in finance. Not everybody wants to get specialized. In, for example, marketing. And I think that later on is the time for a business teacher also to go higher and to choose their specialization.
Yeah,
exactly.
Find their niche.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, definitely, yes. Okay, so thank you for those fantastic materials. And
are there any questions so far? Maybe. Are people watching us?
Definitely, people are watching us. And my question also is if you have any experience in business. Generally, this is not a question to you girls. This is definitely a question to our audience, to our teachers who are watching us. So, do you have any experience in business? Write something to us. Okay. We have yes coming from one person. Girls, what do you specialize in? This is a question from our community. So, girls, what do you specialize in?
Right. I have a few. Number one, I specialize in interview training. So train you for an interview so you'll get the job. I definitely specialize in sales and marketing because that's where I've had the most experience in. I don't necessarily specialize in finance. That means accounting, although I can teach it. So that would be, I would say, my the niche, the 2 areas that I work with. Either it's interview techniques or sales and marketing.
I love the general business English topics, let's say, but I love teaching lexis for negotiations and diplomatic language and the formality of language, how our message changes, both like how our message changes even psychologically speaking when we say this, when we say one sentence and when we say a different sentence. And I love like opening people's eyes and telling them, look, you've just said this. It's rude. It sounds rude. There are so many other ways you can say this very sentence. And I give them these options, and it's usually very simple grammar. It's nothing too sophisticated, and they're like, "Oh my God! Oh really? Oh really?" And also, well, I teach Polish business people, right? Mostly nowadays, and they hate small talk. So I also love focusing their attention on small talk and explaining it to them how important it is to have this rapport, have this relationship with your clients, your English-speaking clients. So I would say my favorite topics are small talk, negotiations, diplomatic language, maybe a little bit of meetings as well, because in a meeting you also have to use diplomatic language sometimes. And I hate topics like finances too. So I hate those. Absolutely hate them. And I try not to teach them if I don't have to, like contracts, contracts, finances. No.
So as you can hear, dear teachers out there, there is a whole room for teachers who love finance.
Yeah. Accountants they're pretty important. Yeah.
And they're very difficult to teach, accountants. They are very difficult to teach because the personalities are completely different, let's say. The personalities are, well, they leave a lot to be desired, right?
Oh, come on. I think that a lot of people might like to teach finance, might like to teach legal English, and generally there are not so many specialists who are really able to do it.
Yeah. And that's the goal. If you can specialize even in a certain sector or a certain niche, then you can, I mean, you're talking, you can name your price. You can name your price.
Yeah.
As a English teacher.
Okay, and we also have some other confirmations that some people have some experience with English, some people with business English, some people just a bit. And someone just wrote here that everything sounds cool. And and yes, it was fun for me and my students. That was definitely about having the experience with business English. And another person has a question. And the question is, what if we have a person who wants to learn BE? However, they are not especially good at DE. What to do in this situation?
So it depends on the level. They want to learn business English for a reason. What is that reason? So I would need to know that. Is it because you want to get another job? Is it because you want to learn business things? We all know that A1 is going to be general English. A2, a lot of it's going to be general English. However, look at all the business course books that are on in the market that are A1 and A2. So they recognized people, even though they're a lower level, they still need some business English. You can definitely teach business A1, A2 level. You're going to do simple things also like answer the phone and teach them some, let's say, etiquette in the office, but you have to explain to them that you need a basis, you need a foundation before you can build business English. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure you have that foundation, and along the way, I'll be giving you as many business skills as I can so you can answer the phone, so you can talk to your boss, but I'm going to make sure that you have that foundation.
And we have another question. It's good to ask for questions because there are a lot of questions.
If I can just add something.
Okay.
I was going to say that what I do is I tend to repeat a certain phrase a lot. Like, okay, we're going to do, I don't know, present simple. We're going to look at some grammar. I know you don't want grammar, but it is going to be useful for you in your job. It's going to be useful for you in your job. And I kind of repeat some cliches over and over again, that it is going to be useful for you, and we're doing this because it's going to be useful for you, or we're doing this because you will need this to, I don't know, introduce yourself to a client, or we're doing this because you might go to a trade fair and you will have to describe a product of yours. So every I kind of explain everything and I give them a reason. We're doing this because blah, 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 blah. And then I kind of introduce more general English. Usually start with general English, and then at the very end, once they grasp the idea of something, we turn it around a little bit and be like, okay, so now we've learned this. Now let's move here, and we're going to implement this general English knowledge into your business English knowledge, and it works.
That's true, and I think it also works from my perspective and from my experience that when you give people reason, they feel more motivated to do it. And then when you ask them for feedback, if they, for example, really were able to use that in their real life, in their business, and they feel they did, they are more grateful for whatever you taught, and then they are not so resistant to learn grammar or whatever you just serve them.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And the next question is, are there any course books worth knowing?
Yes. I don't believe as a teacher, you need to buy a course book. Sometimes you can work with the school and they can recommend course books, but to know what's out there, there is Pearson makes one. It's called Roadmap. A roadmap. It's not specifically business, but it's made for working professionals. So Roadmap is fun to use. There's also an interactive a book to use. Pearson also has a business partner, which is business partner is very business. So if somebody, especially a higher level, they just want negotiations, they just want business case studies, then that's a good one. Another one by Pearson is Market Leader, probably one of the most popular. I personally don't like it, but it has case studies and they're straight out of the Financial Times. So that's kind of their platform. And the last one that I can recommend is by Macmillan, In Company. I like In Company. It's easy to use. It gives them really very down-to-earth, everyday situations. The online version isn't as good. If you want to do a little bit of online to help you supplement your class, then Roadmap or Business Partner is definitely worth using.
Okay, and have some comments. Legal English is fun for some. And we have another question. How many classes do you usually spend on preparing people for interviews? How long do you recommend the course to be?
That's a good question. It depends on their level. I've done this, I would say, if it's a specific interview that's coming up, I would recommend at least 3 sessions to prepare for that specific interview. So 3 sessions with you as the teacher to prepare. It can be part of a longer class that would be maybe 8 or 10 weeks. That would be and encompass a little bit more. Kasia, what do you think? How many classes on preparing for interviews?
It depends on the client and the budget that they have, actually. You can spend 10 hours, you can spend 15. Usually, if they come to you and they want to do a good job in an interview, you will talk to them anyway, and you'll probably find out that they have some grammar problems, that they need more vocabulary to learn. So you're not only going to practice interview skills with them, but you're also going to go through a grammar revision or give them some more advanced lexis. So it could be 3 lessons, it could be 5, it could be 15. It all depends on I would say the budget of the client and their willingness to study and how much time they have before the interview. That's what I would say.
Because for me,
the interview is tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow. Oh, well then, yeah. You gotta interviews tomorrow. You're going to need at least an hour and a half, at least. Yeah. But that's a little bit, that's not good. You need to do a couple days, and then you usually three different sessions for one interview. So we practice it. The first time we go through it so you can dissect it. The second time you give it to me in your words and I correct it. And then the third time you give it to me again like you're going to give it in your real interview.
Okay, thank you very much. So now maybe let's go to love. So what's love got to do with business?
You cannot imagine how many advertisements that I have received this past week, from everything from buying tires for a car or taking out insurance, and they connect it with Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day is coming up, so think of these things. So believe me, in sales and marketing, anything can be it can be connected. Valentine's Day specifically with business. There's some very good ideas. Number one, I would and other people are doing this, some kind of employee appreciation day. Employee appreciation day, we're doing this more and more in business. People don't just want to work for a paycheck. They want to work because they're part of a greater purpose, because they're helping, because they have a good rapport, because they have fun in the office. So one thing you as a manager, management has to make sure your employees feel appreciated. I would ask my manager, what do you do? What do you do to recognize employees? Well, Valentine's Day is coming up, and that's one way to do it. We had some ideas. Some ideas that I've seen here in companies are, let's say you have a luncheon, you have a presentation of recognition. That's usually for someone who's been in the company for maybe 5 years or 10 years. Possibly you have a gift card. My sister is a secretary or administrative assistant and at a company, and she's having to do that right now to arrange for next week, Employee Appreciation Day. It's going to be on Valentine's Day. And by the way, Employee Appreciation Day, the actual day, is in fact March the 3rd, so you can't go wrong. So these are the things that's happening in the business world. So Kasia, what are some ideas that we had, what our teachers can use this in the classroom?
Well, our handout is going to give you more ideas. So we're just going to share one or two to not have this webinar for 3 hours. So one way to practice like this concept of Employee Appreciation Day, our idea was that you have to write a letter of recognition to your employees or to a specific employee or to a specific department. So you practice writing skills, and the context is Valentine's Day is coming, or Employee Appreciation Day is coming. Write something nice about your employees or about a department. Another idea that I like, because I like using role plays in my classes. So another idea is brainstorm gift cards that you're going to give to your employees. So first, as a group, brainstorm what type of gift card you would like to give your employees, whether it's to the cinema, a restaurant, IKEA, even Allegro, right?
Gym.
Is it like a voucher? What is it? Is it a gym voucher or something? So first brainstorm the gift cards, and then either think about pluses and minuses of each and have a meeting and discuss this in your meeting. And then you practice meeting skills, agreeing, disagreeing, interrupting each other, summarizing, and so on.
And then you can drop a bomb with a budget.
Yes, exactly. yes. Or choose one of the gift cards. This is your idea, and prepare a mini presentation about it.
Pitch it. Yeah.
To the rest of the class, just advertise your gift card, your voucher, why you think your gift card is the best, and why the others should agree with you. And again, this could be done in the context of a meeting where people are brainstorming, presenting their ideas, agreeing, disagreeing with each other. And all of this is done in the context of Valentine's, or in this case, Employee Appreciation Day, which is very close to Valentine's Day, right? And can be done in the same class, I guess. No?
And this is exactly what my sister had to do with her boss. He said, this day's coming up, give me some ideas. And she did that. She had to come up with these ideas. She had to pitch these ideas. And then he chose the cheapest one because the budget, because of the inflation. And that's what they did. So these are actual things that are happening now that your students can practice.
Yeah. Okay, so thank you for those fantastic ideas. And
that's number one.
That's number one. Okay, so this
number
is
two.
Employee Appreciation Day. Okay, that's number two.
Number two, Healthy Heart Wellness Challenge.
Of number one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Number two, Healthy Heart Wellness Challenge.
Which is
Healthy Heart is
connected
a
to the
time.
heart in Valentine's.
Yes. We think about wellness. All of the companies want to promote wellness, whether that's promoting healthy food lunchtime, or a walkathon, or a biometric screening, which is another thing my sister has to arrange. These are different things that companies do at Valentine's Day, Healthy Heart Wellness Challenge. And Kasia, what are some ideas we had for that?
Well, in this case, we came up with some nice discussion questions that can work here. I'm going to share just a few. How can we promote a healthy heart among our employees? Should we rent a blood bus and donate some blood for Valentine's Day and have a discussion on that? Should we decorate the office for this event of, well, not Valentine's Day, but Healthy Heart Wellness Challenge, right? And we just connect the two. So just some questions there. You can put these questions out there and ask the students to discuss and brainstorm and think whether this particular challenge would work in their companies or not. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then if they're lower levels, you could get them, I would do role play. So in biometric screening, you have a health professional and she asks you questions like, how much do you exercise? How much coffee do you drink? How much alcohol do you drink? So these questions and answers, I would get them role playing because this is what happens. The health professional asks these questions as you go in, and you have to answer them. So I would do that for my lower level for sure.
Yeah, and that's a nice way of turning general English into business English. Again, we're practicing being at the doctor and answering questions, but at the same time, the context is, well, it's a Healthy Heart Challenge and so on.
Yeah,
right? So if you can put a business spin on anything, I would say.
Right.
I agree.
And yeah,
and that's connected.
And then the last one is share the love with the community. This is a big thing. You've seen it. So we're asked to, every company usually has one or two nonprofits that they work with, that they donate to. And this is a time of year when you ask for a little bit of a donation there at work, or you ask your employees. Oh, a lot of companies, they give you a day off to go volunteer somewhere. It's paid. And that's a good thing too. So what are some ideas, Kasia, we have for that? Share the love with the community?
Well, definitely. I mean, I don't think we put that in the handout, but this is something that I think we in Poland should be doing. We have WOŚP, which is very close to Valentine's Day. And the symbol is a heart. And we're talking about charities. So why not connect the idea of loving your community, Valentine's Day, and the idea of WOŚP, so Wielka Orkiestra, we all know what that is, and have a discussion about that. Like, is your company doing something for this event in Poland? Should they be doing something? And then there's a nice spin to it, a business spin to it. If you introduce the idea of WOŚP and loving your community and so on, an interesting question to ask your students might be, okay, we're going to be donating. Obviously, we want to do it for a good cause, 100%, but we also want to be seen doing it because it is also good for marketing. Let's be honest. So how, dear students, how are we going to kind of promote ourselves doing these things so that it doesn't seem artificial, and yet the people around us know that we're doing it? And it could be a very interesting discussion. And it's all about this idea of sharing the love with the community. And we might have people who would be like, no, never do anything for show. It has to be genuine. Okay. And then you'll have these marketing people who are going to be, yes, but this is a good opportunity to sell our company as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that CSR
nice
activities are super nice for both company and for those people who are helped somehow. And CSR is, I think, in Poland, not so popular, and it should be.
Right.
Yeah.
So those are the ideas that we came up with. We have a lot more on the handout, but we just wanted to share these ideas. All of them are getting at having your student speak more, pitch his or her ideas. So vocalize things, sometimes writing things, getting a lot more participation in the classroom with something fun. It's Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
In a business corporate setting, yes. That was our idea.
And I think that is a fantastic idea. So can I share the link to your handout, Kasia?
It's not the handout itself. It's the Google form where you leave your email, answer a few questions.
Sorry.
And then once I get your emails, I'm going to send everyone the PDF because my admin doesn't work on my page in my shop. And I had to improvise like 15 minutes or 20 minutes before we started this interview. Like, oh, how am I going to share? Okay, I'm going to get people to give me their email so I can send them the PDF, not through the shop. Yeah. So yes.
Okay,
so
and I need to
put it in the chat too because it's not.
Yes, I know, but
it's
lost
floating
the
across
link.
the bottom of the screen.
I know. So this is one
Looks
thing I did,
fancy.
and I need to find it once again in our chat to copy it and paste to the comments below.
I think you have to put it as a comment first.
I will. Just a
okay.
minute.
Sure.
We talked too
You're
much.
The expert here. We don't know this page.
We definitely talked too much on Messenger because now I can't find it. Wait a minute. I'm searching for it.
So yeah,
I lost it. Oh yeah.
Did you find it?
I was looking in the chat with Kasia and not with in the chat with Kasia and
there we
Margie.
go.
So
the link changes every time I copy it, but I copied it again and it's in our private chat here.
Okay.
So I don't know why it changes every time I copy it from Google. So
you said private chat here.
Yes,
StreamYard.
Yes.
Here on StreamYard, here on Messenger, here.
Yeah, there it is.
Okay, I've got it. So now it's going to be in the comment section below, and it's there. Okay, so girls, I would like you to talk about one more thing, and this is a course you organize for teachers, of course. So could you? Could you two courses, could you share some more information in this area?
Okay, we have two courses. The first one is Be More Business English, and it's basically basics, how to teach business English. So everything that we talked about at the beginning, whether that's vocabulary, case studies, meeting needs, and the different areas that you will teach, whether that's negotiating, answering the phone, all of these things, it's all covered in that. So if you don't have a lot of experience teaching business, if you don't have any confidence teaching business, if you'd like to include that in your portfolio of what you offer, then the course is perfect for you. If you have a lot of experience teaching business and you know your way around the landscape, probably not a good course for you. It's for people who really want to learn the ins and outs of teaching business.
And we actually revamped the course because it's been running for the past like almost year and a half, right? And we had three editions already, plus a holiday edition in July and August. And after edition number 3, so basically now, we decided to change the format of the course a little bit. Because previously it had more individual coaching with the trainer. It had fewer group sessions. And when I talk to people, I frequently got messages like, maybe it would be better to have more group sessions, and why is it only 8, blah, blah, blah. So with Margie, we decided to change the course a little bit. So to give the people more group sessions. So in fact, there are now 13. It's a 14-week course, but there are 13 group sessions. And one session is an individual with Margie, where each student, and there's like 6 maximum in the group, so each student has their 15 or 20 minutes with the trainer. And you work on your elevator pitch, right? You work on how to present yourself for the first time to a business client.
Exactly. Yes.
Your strengths, not your weaknesses. How to advertise yourself, how to sell yourself. And
right.
we decided to keep that individual session because it always worked. And yeah, basically we changed the course to suit your needs better, right? And now it's 13 group sessions instead of 8, more brainstorming together, creating business English content together, but not but like there are specific sessions where you will be preparing lesson plans together as a group with Margie, deciding what will work, what won't work, and it's kind of like a mastermind, kind of, where each person shares their experience, but the idea is to create a lesson, right? And I think there are 2 sessions like this where
we are creating lesson plans.
That.
Yeah.
And then most are workshops. Others
yeah. Why is that? If you want to sell yourself, if you go to talk to a school or you're talking to a prospective client and they say, do you have any experience teaching negotiations? So you'll have a lesson plan that you already have prepared in negotiations. And you can say, yes, yeah, I've taught it before and I'd be happy to do it again, right? That's the first course. The second course is, we call it the Big 12. That's the 12 major industry sectors in the marketplace, right? So we have marketing, logistics, manufacturing, energy, tourism, e-learning, pharmaceutical, medical, of course. And the newest things that are happening in each of those sectors, right? And we look at the trends and we look at some of the moral questions, right? So for example, AI, which is a really fun topic, artificial intelligence, we ask the question, can creativity be learned? And so in every section, it's very workshop based. We're just exchanging ideas. It's not like I'm some big expert. Everybody has a lot to say, and it's a lot of fun. It is a more intensive look at each sector, but we only spend one session, 1 week on each sector.
Yeah. So it's not an ESP course. It's not English for specific purposes where one learns legal English for 2 weeks. No, 2 weeks, 14 weeks. It's more like each week there's a different industry sector and you look at it like you have a bird's eye view of the sector, and you can decide afterwards if this is something interesting for you and whether you would like to potentially learn more about this sector or not, right? So, but
I have to say, everything is very, very up to date. It's there's nothing that's like 2 years old or anything like that. So I have to say, a lot of the things we're talking about, I use them in my business classes with executives, right? Because they're interesting topics, and executives, managers like to give their opinion about things, and they have to be in the know, you know. So it'll give you a lot of ideas to use as some subject matter in your classes with your students.
So definitely teachers feel invited to those courses.
Yes. We're starting the 4th edition for Be More BE. It starts in 2 weeks, is it?
In 2 weeks,
on the 21st, more or less, of Feb.
Right.
And the Big 12 also is supposed to start on the 20th or the 24th, depending if we get more people. So we only open this course twice a year, so in October and then mid-February. So the next batch of courses is probably going to be in October. I'm not sure if we have plans to open groups over the holidays. This is something we will discuss later, but definitely in the school year, we open such groups only in October and February. And it's 14 weeks for both, and all the classes are recorded. So that's, I think, important to know. All the classes are recorded and put on my platform, where if you miss a class, you can always jump on the platform and watch the class that you missed. And there's a Padlet, a very detailed Padlet. And if anyone here is watching us who attended Margie's courses already, you know how detailed her Padlets are.
So definitely comment on it.
If anyone who knows Margie is here right now, please confirm that Margie's Padlets are a masterpiece. because I think
Well,
we are.
I like to be creative. Yes.
There's lots of content there and lots of ideas and lots of links and lots of vocab and everything, really everything. So this is what the attendees get. They get the know-how, they get the materials, they get the recordings, they get the knowledge.
Okay, so how to enroll on the course? How to enroll on the course? Where?
Oh, someone wrote, yep, Margie's Padlet is full of content. Thank you for that, whoever you are.
Thank you.
Yes, and I'm going to show it.
Thank you.
This is proof.
Yes.
This is proof.
Social proof.
So Kasia, Sabina asked, how do they enroll?
Yeah.
Well, through my webpage, evszkolenia.com. And the handout, that if you want to get the handouts with the notes from today, there's also some info on the courses there and a link there for both, for the Big 12 and B. But of course, the regular webpage where we offer business courses and general English courses, conversation classes, they run throughout the whole year. Basically, evszkolenia.com is the main web page, and from the main page you can easily find the business links, the courses that describe the business ones and the general conversation courses as well. Because as I think Sabina pointed out in the beginning, we are the only Polish school, language school for teachers as of now. So everything that we offer is there on that page. And Margie is, of course, the business trainer for teachers. There.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I also share the link below
in
the comment section.
Thank you. Any more questions, guys, about the second part or the third part of the webinar today? So the Valentine's Day ideas. Do you have any questions, concerns about that?
Generally, I have one comment which we got earlier on, and that was love these ideas. I also love these ideas. Okay. So can I ask you to answer the questions which are going to come after we finish in the comment section, or just cover and follow whatever discussion there is going to be under our interview?
Sure.
Because I can't see any questions, and definitely we are a bit 5-10 seconds later. Yeah.
So you're asking, are we going to be in the comments to answer questions?
Yeah.
I think we can be. Maybe
Sure.
not today, but definitely. I mean, today maybe a little bit, but we can be for a while. Yeah, for sure.
And yes, so we have one more question. And if I may, one more question. Margie, can you prepare anyone for an interview, or maybe you think a BE teacher should focus on a specific specific job title and specialize just in it?
Okay, so it looks like two different questions.
Mm-hmm.
So can you prepare anyone for an interview? Absolutely. It may take some time depending on if whatever it is that they need to learn. Sometimes people for an interview, they may know, your student may know some of the content, but they don't know those, I call them hooks. They don't know the phrases to begin certain things. Yeah. So that's what you need to teach them. And I can teach that to anybody, but depending on their level, the lower the level, the more classes I need to be able to work with them. If a business English teacher should focus on a specific job title and specialize just in it.
I think it would be too much of a niche. That's my personal point of view.
So if it's for a job interview, sure, you can ask questions in a job interview in a certain title. If the question is, if the business English teacher can focus on a specific job title and specialize in it. So that would be, let's say, marketing. marketing assistant or marketing manager, you wouldn't want to focus your niche just in one job title. You could, however, focus it in a sector or a department like marketing. You can say, I'm specialized now in marketing. That could be a marketing specialist. Specialist is like a lower level, the bottom level, or a marketing junior manager, a marketing senior manager.
So a specific job title, no, but a department may be better. So you can advertise as, I help marketing people get jobs.
Right.
That could potentially
Except if the question is asking in conjunction with an interview, then yes, my interview, I give them specific questions. Well, there's a lot of basic questions like, what are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What would your colleagues say about you? Tell me about a time when blah, blah, blah. But there are also, for a specific job title, there are specific questions in an interview that you ask an accountant, let's say, that you wouldn't ask a salesperson. So that you could also do.
Okay, so thank you very much for that answer. And I think we don't have any other questions here. So, oh yeah, and another person is writing, thank you for answering all questions. Yeah, so I'm real grateful for you ladies to share your knowledge and everything else with us. And I definitely recommend to our teachers, to our audience, to go and fill in the survey from Kasia, because you are going to get the handout later on with the ideas. And definitely think about business English courses. And you have all the links below. So thank you very much for joining.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, Sabina, thank you very much. This was fun. I like the way you're very natural. It's very nice. So thank you very much. And everybody, happy Valentine's Day. Go out and do something fun. And if you work in an office, then try to have a good day. And if you work at a school, then try to, we call them random acts of kindness. So try to do some kind of little act of kindness for somebody that'll put them in a good mood for Valentine's Day.
Okay, and we
make their week. Make their week.
Yeah. Okay, and we have some comments like great webinar, thank you, and like girls, you killed it, and like thank you. So and like another comment like appreciate that. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on a Friday evening, because everybody wants to do their own things on a Friday evening. So we really appreciate it that you decided to come and join us, and hopefully you got something out of it, and you got some ideas to use
next
we
week.
Gave you some food for thought. Yeah.
So see you, my dear teachers, and just grow and build your future in business.
Yes.
Okay.